Marvel Studios has become pretty well known for taking control of the final cut of the film, no matter what the director put out in his final submission. Now we learn a little bit more in regards to why exactly Marvel handles it this way, and probably why they're going to start doing it more because of recent releases. So this comes at us from a recent interview with Empire magazine, where former Marvel Studios directors Joe and Anthony Russo both got to talk to them, and Joe Russo specifically talked a little bit more about everything that goes on in Marvel Studios, the creative committees, the retreats, and all that. And he talks about how it's like to work for this giant company that's moving so rapidly, and how much of your own individuality and voice you can really have in terms of what you put in there. And he says that when you look at it, there's a lot of stuff that you have to do that's just by the book. Week in and week out, week after week, it's exactly what you're supposed to do. There's very little deviation from the schedule. They schedule the reshoots, you know exactly when you're going to be doing them. If it's not needed, you're still reporting there because they might do different takes and everything. And again, it just goes in a completely different way as opposed to many other studios. And he says that when it came to pitching films and the development, that you pitch what you're working on, and then they come back to you with what they want, and it becomes a process of discussion and talking and finding a middle ground. Except that Marvel Studios is always altering the direction, adding in new parameters. Of course, the addition of new characters, which we previously saw, which obviously he's talking about Spider-Man, for example, and how you approach the final cut of the film. And then he said when it's all said and done, they let you shoot your film. You're free to go do it, do what you want, shoot it in your own style. They don't care. They want you to do it like that, to add your own flavor and to make it feel like it's truly your film. You just have to stay within the guidelines and not go too far out, because then it doesn't match up with the specific vision and tone of the rest of the universe. And then when you come back, there might be some notes and reshoots just because this scene doesn't work. And then they're really going to have a comprehensive breakdown of notes, scene by scene, detail by detail of what they would like changed, and for you to do that during the reshoots. And in that way, they kind of take away some of the creative freedom you had. But he says he understands why, because you have to do what makes sense for the universe. Now, this, honestly, all of this, I love it, because he's quite clearly not playing to them by going, oh, they're perfect, they're perfect. He's pointing out some of the flaws, but also many of the things that make the MCU great. And I want to bring this up as a major factor. How many times have people said the Russos are just safe? All these directors are safe. They're not allowed to do their own thing. Well, when you let the directors do their own thing without a lot of interference and notes from Marvel Studios, because people demanded they let the director do their own thing, they ended up not liking Eternals at all, because that was a Chloe Zhao film through and through, and they're mixed on Doctor Strange 2, because it was a Sam Raimi film. So I think what he's saying here is 100% spot on. If you make the film you want as a director and take Marvel's notes and you meet in the middle, you get the best of both. But if you go too far one way or another, you start to lose quality. And I think if we just look at the films that have been affected by that, you see that everything he said is true.